happy to welcome Julie Cusmariu, who is an intuitive life coach, so that you can learn a little bit more about what she does. And I'll sort of tell you a little bit about Julie and what she aims to do. So I'm taking this directly from her website there. And so she says that she helps leaders and artists create individuals make change and trust their intuition, use their voice to create positive change, gain clarity, and lead with meaning and purpose. She's going to help you make the space to hear what you need and what you want to create. That's awesome. To nurture your gifts and strengths and to pave the way to your own successful fulfillment. So she is going to help us understand exactly what an intuitive coach is and how you can use your intuition to guide yourself through all of these stressful times. I know that there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and it can be quite stressful, and sometimes we can shut down that little voice that's inside. And she's going to help guide us to listen, and there she is. So I am going to, good, view request. I'm going to invite her in.
Hi.
Hey, hello Julie. Hello, how are you?
I'm a minute late. Sorry.
I should put my headphones on. So I just did a brief little introduction on you. I took sort of some of the information from your site there, and I was talking about sort of some of your goals and stuff like that. So while before we get started,
yeah,
thank you for being on the other end of this, because I know
I'm so happy to be.
Yeah, most of the time that you're doing this. So let me just actually put my headphones on. That way I think that I'll be able to hear you a little bit better. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, good. Okay,
it's more intimate, right, when you have them in your ears?
Yeah, it is a little bit more intimate. I feel like it's sort of in our little bubble, even if there's other people around. So we know what a bubble is these days.
Yes,
with COVID and everything, sadly. So how are you today?
It's been a busy morning. I'm good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had some clients this morning. I have one child of my two who's not homeschooling, but he's at home. One of his classes is closed down because they have a COVID case. So, okay. He's 6.5 and really needs me to be next to him. But I've been working, and so I'm just catching my breath right now with you.
Oh, good. Oh, good. And yeah. Hopefully he can join in if he needs a little bit of time. And so, Julie, tell me a little bit about yourself. So you have two boys.
And two boys.
So 6 and
6.5 and 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're in school, and so grade 4 and grade 1. And, okay. Yeah. There's lots that I can say about that, but that's how old they are.
I'm sure we could talk about our kids for a really long time.
How old are your kids, by the way?
What's that?
I'm not going to interview you, but I want to know, how old are your kids?
8 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're both moms, and so two girls.
Two girls.
Yeah. And
I know they're two girls. What grade is that? Is that grade 2 and...
That's grade 3 and grade kindergarten.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So
okay.
Nice that you're here. And okay, so why don't we just dive right into it? About
sure.
How you got into sort of intuitive life coaching, and or did you start off with just regular life coaching, and maybe sort of what the difference is between regular life coaching and intuitive life coaching, and sort of what brought you on this path of using your intuition a little bit more and helping others to use their intuition.
I think my intuition brought me to the path,
Yeah.
the path, my path, the one that I'm following that feels true to me. And I think that's really what it's about. It's like, how do we connect to that place within us that knows what's right for us, that can guide us, even if it's just the next step, And so I was always drawn to the world that I couldn't see, the invisible, the invisible realm, the things that maybe weren't necessarily explainable, but I felt, and, I did a conventional path of schooling and then decided that I wanted to pursue studies in alternative healing and energy medicine. And so I took a few classes and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, it took me so long to get here, this is all of what's important to me, and well, not all, but a lot of it. And I took a class called Awakening Intuition, and it just, struck a chord in me to just bring that into my field of view. What is intuition, and do I have it, and how does it speak to me? And we did some exercise which validated that my intuition was quite present and strong. And so that sort of took me on this path. I wasn't always thinking intuition, I want to study intuition, I want to help people with their intuition, but it was the first of many synchronistic events and experiences that allowed me to then study with a teacher in Chicago, Sonia Choquette, how to develop my intuition, how to connect to it. And then I found coaching, and welcome people who are joining.
Yes, thank you. Hello, hello.
Hi. So did that answer your question?
Yeah. No, it totally
Okay.
did. And would you say that it was something in, so before I want to say that you in journalism before? Is that what you,
I actually did a business degree at John
a business
Molson.
degree?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you, hello from California. Thank you, KF
Welcome.
Nettie. Welcome.
Good
We're
to see
happy that you're
you.
here. It's probably a little bit earlier for you than it is here. And so, would you say that you sort of were getting a little bit tired of that sort of business world and something just, I know that you just mentioned that the intuition kind of came to you and you just felt like you needed to follow that path. And Katie, hi, Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
And hi, Nancy. And so, would you say that you were just kind of getting tired? Because I think that a lot of people sometimes might be feeling something that maybe you were feeling. They might be in a job that they're not enjoying, or maybe they're in a relationship that they're feeling like it's dragging them down and that they're ready to sort of move on. And so, is that sort of a little bit what happened with you?
I mean, I was younger, like I was 18. I think I was always like deeply reflective and sensitive. So I think that if something was felt misaligned, then I wanted to sort of like, well, how can I sort of either course correct, or what do I need here? What do I need to do? And I think, people say change either happens to us or we make it happen, and I was actually, wellness has always been my deep interest, and well-being. And I was scheduled to go into athletic therapy at Concordia University in Montreal. And then whatever influences guided me to a business degree. And I always get comments like, you're in a business, like you don't seem to fit in here, and I do feel like my soul is more of an artist, healer soul than business. But, I went through the program, and there were some courses that really spoke to me that had nothing to do with business because they were electives. And I wouldn't say I was tired, but I was just seeking fulfillment, seeking satisfaction, and seeking responding to like, what are my gifts? What am I here to help do? And how can I contribute to making this place better for myself, for my neighbors, for my planet? And so I was asking those questions for myself, and then, followed course basically. But I think for people who are asking, they're in a job that doesn't feel good, if they're, if there's a change that happens to them, it's always, I think, important to ask, like, who am I? What's important to me? What are my values? What are my strengths? What are my gifts? How can I utilize those? And That's what I do as a coach. I help people just remember who they are and highlight that and use that to make informed decisions, to make, meaningful decisions, to make decisions that feel right for them. Because we each, what's right for me is not necessarily right for you, right? So it's knowing that we have the right to do what's right for us and what feels right for us. And thankfully, I gained support of all kinds of people so that I can trust in my own process and trust in what I wanted to do.
Well, I love your
It
quote.
didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight,
No, of course not.
That's what I want to do,
You didn't wake up one morning and everything kind of fell into place and bang, right? It is definitely a process, and I understand that with my Pilates clients and massage clients. Sometimes I always, remind them that it's a lifestyle. It's not just sort of a means to an end. It's not just, okay, well, you wake up one morning and you've got, great breathing skills and great, posture and all this stuff. It's sort of
Right.
this continuous thing, and it also evolves over the years. Like breathing, for example, for me has evolved so much over the years, and some days it can feel more restricted and other days,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what's happening sort of
Mm-hmm.
in my life. And I do love that little quote, and I put it on my Instagram. I love that little quote there about, because I feel like it really spoke to me with regards of what's happening right now. I know the path can feel solitary and fraught with uncertainty. It can raise our fears and self-doubt and attract lots of external noise, voices telling us how it should be. But together we can turn down the volume on this. And I just thought that was really beautiful, because I think that we can get really stuck in our heads. And I mean, one of the questions sometimes maybe some of the viewers are wondering is, how do we know that our intuition is right? And how do we know that we can kind of trust that intuition? Like, is there, when you're working with your clients, what is it that, I guess I'm looking for kind of like that magic kind of answer.
Right.
And I know that it's very different for each person, but is there a way that somebody can more easily tap into their intuition, or
These
so
are
maybe
all
you can talk
amazing
about.
questions. So there's many ways I can answer, like just hit on different points, but for one, it's a process. Like, I'm continuously honing my intuition. Like, when I'm faced with something that I haven't yet experienced in life, then of course I want to trust my intuition, but sometimes it's not always so easy or accessible or available, because I'm attached emotionally to the outcome, or attached emotionally to what's happening, and so I can't know what's best for me at that moment, or I can't know where I'm being guided. So I have to back up and just say, well, what would be the next step? What would feel like the next best step? And one way that I like to describe intuition, like, is knowing for you how it registers for you in your body. Some people call it gut. Some people call it, I just knew. Some people say, I felt it. Some people see it. There's all types of ways we can break down what intuition. There's a whole spectrum, like from like being a trance channel to like a gut instinct, and all there in between. There's like intuition, there's psychic ability. Actually did a podcast on the science of intuition with a scientist about intuition and this whole spectrum of possibility. But I think if we just bring it down to the physical body that we're in, if we could access and give attention to our body, and this, like, this is the work that you do, is like being in our body and being available to like what's happening internally, like what am I feeling, what am I noticing. And intuition, when it's not always going to give you that like $1,000,000 answer that you want, but what it's going to share with you will help you feel at ease. You'll feel more expanded, more relaxed, more at peace. And when it's not intuition, like when it's fear or wishful thinking or anxiety, you might feel constriction, or you might have a lot of rumination of thoughts. It would be interesting, and I also invite people who are listening, or when I'm working with people, like, how does it register for you? Some people know, it just felt like in my body I could relax. Even if the answer that their intuition provided or the clarity that came was like, I need to make a hard decision here, but I know that that decision is right. Like, what does rightness feel like for you? What is that yes? Like, what does yes feel like? And what does no feel like? And it's getting familiar and developing intimate language for yourself about like, well, how does this show up for me in my life, in my body? And then you take that with you. You know, am I feeling tight over this? Am I feeling constricted? Am I feeling, you know, whatever it is that you feel? Or am I feeling like empowered or at ease or expanded, you know, or a sense of peace?
And would you say that this is sort of a good practice to adopt, for example, whenever you kind of want to make a decision to kind of pause and go in your body
Yeah.
and sort of feel what it's feeling like inside your body?
Yeah, what am I
Is
like,
that
even to do that before you want to ask a question, like this is like the practice of just breathing and connecting within, you know, whether it's you're doing sitting meditation, mindfulness practice, or just when you wake up in the morning before you get out of bed and you just close your eyes and just notice, what am I feeling? Like, is there dysregulation in my system? Am I feeling anxiety? Am I just thinking and not aware of like how my toes are doing? You know,
right?
there's many practices that you can do to just
I
gain
do.
awareness. Yeah.
I do have a question. Hi, Katerina. Thank you for joining. And I do have a question also from Katie.
Yeah.
She asks you, what ways do you recommend to increase body awareness?
Um, I think I would ask you, like when you say body awareness, I'm going to ask her, like, I'm curious what she's already aware of, you know, like, because it's like sensing what's happening, like, you know, be in touch with what you know, like, what does feeling mean? I would ask Katie, what does it mean? Like, how does feeling show up for you? I don't know if she wants to answer this, but she's welcome to in the chat. I'm not sure if I'm seeing what you're seeing. And it's being curious about when I have a conversation, like Katie, when you're having a conversation next time with somebody, or you're anticipating something, or you know something might be either comfortable or uncomfortable, check in with your body. Like, how do I feel now that I just had that conversation? And notice, like, it might be very subtle. My shoulder, you know, like for the pandemic, for the first 6 months, I think my shoulders were like up to here with both of my kids home. And I wasn't aware of it. I just knew that my nervous system was dysregulated and I was feeling more stressed because there was a lot going on. And, you know, I was just walking around like this. And then it took a while for me to realize like I need to relax my shoulders and connect and, you know, massage. And so it's just to become aware of like what's happening in my body. I mean, you could speak to this beautifully, right, Bridget, like about when we hold our breath and
Yeah.
what happens to our diaphragm. So if we bring awareness to our situations, like relationships, it could even be like I'm going into a store and I had an interaction that bothered me, or like I found that person unfriendly, or whatever it was. Something is registered in the body. So it's just bringing attention to the fact that like your body, we can't, you know, we often walk around with like our heads just like cut off from the rest of our going through life. But we need to bring our body as our ally and bring it into every experience, you know, and almost like, you know, develop this relationship. Well, not almost, develop this relationship with like, we're in this, like, how do you feel right now? You know, how was that interaction? Where in your body, where in my body am I showing that affected me?
Mm. I don't know if
You
you're
said,
seeing her comment there, Julie. So she's said that
yeah,
it's
I see
taken her
that.
many years. You see that, yeah, to tap into her body, and she's still working on it. And it is,
I
if
am
I can
too.
sort of chime in as well, it is, like I said, it's this lifelong experience, this lifelong journey of connecting with your body. And you know, our body always sends us messages. We just have to take time to sort of listen to it And a lot of times, like you talk about sort of that noise, and, you know, the noise can be just running around, you know, maybe we're not going so much to work physically, but we're still working from home, and we're still, you know, preparing dinner, and, you know, kind of rushing around in our head and our body, and we don't take a sort of a pause to tap into our bodies. And like you said, it's just, you know, when you're going into a store, when you're speaking with somebody, to just take a little pause, like, oh, how do I feel? Sometimes I'll put my hand on my heart, just so that I can have that physical contact with myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this is feeling strange. Okay, come back to my body, put your hand on your heart, and just that will immediately get you to hone in on what's happening in your body. And you know, things like myself, I teach mindful exercise, and so it any form of mindful exercise where you have to concentrate on different body parts, and how your body is feeling in space, obviously help to also tap into the sensations of your body. So I think together, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this sort of intuitive
Totally.
coaching and movement professional goes really well together.
Yeah, totally. And you know, it's really about being grounded. Like my intuitive training, the best teaching was like, let's dance, let's get in our body. We have to feel, like Katie's saying, it's a work in progress, and just to feel feelings. You know, I've been so grateful whenever, you know, it took me a while, you know, I started when I was like in my late teens, but to really access my feelings, because the lack of accessing them was creating so much anxiety. So then when I tapped into the emotion, they didn't have to be suppressed anymore. I was giving them space to come out. And that enables you to have space in your body to feel. You know, there could be a lot of stored emotions in our bodies. It's too scary to tap into what's happening in our body, because there could be trauma, there could be a lot. So it's finding the right support that you need, but just have awareness and the curiosity about, like, wow, what does my body hold? You know, do I need support with that? What kind of support do I need? Maybe just a book, but to develop the curiosity, to want that relationship with your body, because it's so rich, right?
Mm, definitely, definitely. Um, So you talk about, I saw on your website, and I've never done any formal, I've done therapy, but I've never done, and I've done obviously a lot of movement and different forms of healing and stuff like that, but I've never officially done any sort of coaching. And I know that on your website you sort of talk about the life coaching and the intuitive readings and then the mentor coaching. Are those sort of three different, completely different things that you offer based
Yeah.
on somebody's needs?
Yeah, they're based on well, I'm the mentor coaching piece is for coaches who want to renew a credential or get a credential to be certified as a coach. So I'm certified, and I have credentials to credential other coaches. So that's for coaches.
Okay.
And the life coaching is different from the intuitive reading. So the life coaching is something frequent. It could be, you know, once a week, once a month, a couple times a week. And intuitive reading is more like once every 4 months, 5 months, once a year, once every 3 years. It's about it's like turning a different channel. So when I'm coaching, it's about the client and accessing their own best answers and holding the space for that. With intuitive reading, I never make decisions for people. I'm not into predictive readings. It's not what I do. It's not what I believe is my strength, or it's just not something that I do. And so it's more about like connecting with the energy. Like, and if we do it today, you'll see. It's just like, I don't need information, but I receive information and I share it, is the gist of it. But it's helping to overcome the blocks that are unconscious. And there's like a gentle, beautiful transformation that happens. It's like, oh, somebody sees me, and they didn't. One is like, how did they know that? Which is not really part of the piece, but because it just validates them being seen. So like, that's really, like, coaching is like being seen, allowing somebody's soul to be witnessed, allowing somebody to know that they are, what they're great at, what they're, you know, what they, you know, what theirs are. And so intuitive reading is kind of like a quick dose of, I see you, this is what I'm feeling. I don't know if that was all articulate or succinct or any of
Yeah,
that.
and I mean, if anybody wants,
But did you get the
yeah,
point?
totally fine. I mean, I think the best thing is just to give you a call, obviously, and then we would experience it for ourselves, right? I don't
Right.
know, anybody who's listening right now can chime in. I know that we mentioned that we would be doing some free intuitive readings. So if anybody does want a free intuitive reading, a short little reading with Julie, then put it in the comments or ask to join. So I don't know how, do you have to like be speaking with the person, or can the
No,
person be just typing
yeah, they can just
something?
say, well, first just let us know if you want something, a reading, and it's energetic, so I don't need to see the person. And the way that I work is I just, working with somebody, I ask them before we have our meeting, what's your intention? Like, what do you want to feel by the end of our time together? And I just start receiving information. Sometimes it's metaphorical, sometimes it's just what I'm in. And it often takes a conversational tone and coaching tone. But again, like I'm wearing a different hat. So it's clear, and I make that clear before we start. And it's not like it's the way that someone knows they've had a good reading is they feel empowered, they feel uplifted, they feel like something has happened that doesn't feel monumental, but feels like, yeah, that's right, it resonates. And I always tell people, like, take what works, take what makes sense, leave the rest. It might not make sense now, it might make sense like in 3 weeks or in 5 months. So yeah, that's. Have you ever had a reading, Bridget? Or a psychic
No.
reading? Psychic. Okay.
No, no, I've always been interested in going to see a psychic, but it kind of scares me.
Yeah?
I'm always,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the type of person that if I hear
Me
something,
too.
I might be waiting for that for the rest of my life. Like, when's it going to
Yes.
happen? Oh, is it now? So I've always been a little bit, I've done some other sort of energetic stuff, but yeah, I'm always curious, but I haven't gone the psychic route
I'm
yet.
in the same way, actually, which is why, sorry, there was a delay, but I mean, I'm the same way. I've experienced like psychic attack, and I've experienced experiences that I don't want to experience. So I feel like it's a great privilege for me to hold the space where I'm very clear that you will not be experiencing that, with me, because it's a very vulnerable place to be in. And I'm
Yeah.
also somebody who attaches to words and people's thoughts and perceptions, and it's like what they say and oh, they said that. So I hold that in great honor and respect, because I am that sensitive soul as well. And so yeah, it's a beautiful experience to have and to give.
So if anybody does want to have a reading live right now with Julie, you're welcome to put a comment or to just ask to join. Um, Apparently you just tap. I'm not quite sure exactly how that
Oh yeah, because you
works,
could bring them,
Julie.
you're saying like they can come on with their actual face.
Yeah, right. They
That
can
would
come
be
on with
fun.
their face, but I'm not sure that
Yeah.
everybody would be comfortable with coming on with their face.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe
It's
it's
not
just best
necessary.
if no, exactly. So maybe it's just best if you maybe ask a question in the comments or something. And
Right.
hello, Audra. I'm sorry if I didn't say
Audra.
that properly. Thank you for joining us. And so if we just kind of take it to COVID, because it's obviously what we're all living right now, we can't sort of escape it. And do you have any sort of words of wisdom and how to kind of shut off that, like you said, that extra noise that's in our heads, and keeping us perhaps awake at night? And
Awake myself the last couple nights. So let's see. Uh, you know, I think one is to stress like the new normal people are
hello,
talking about.
Jan.
Like even when I'm talking with clients or myself, it's to know that like these are not normal times, right? We're going through some great fill in the blank, whatever it is for you. For everybody's different, right? For some people, like is at the forefront and they're struggling with it. For some, it's at the background and they're struggling with something else, or it's compounding everything else. So there's no question that everything is being amplified right now. So what is being amplified for you, for me, for the people watching or listening? And I think, again, like I can't stress it enough. For me, it's like, how do we come back to neutral? I share this in an Instagram. Intuition can be best found when we're in a place of neutrality, when we're not attached emotionally, where there isn't this emotion, this static, if you imagine it, where it's just calm and clear water. And like, we're not in that space right now, right? Like, it's like, we don't know what's happening. For me, it's like, are my kids going to school? Are they not? Can I see my family? Can I not? And other things. And so I have to ask myself, ask themselves, like, what is it that could draw you to this place of neutral? Like, what can you come back? What can you rely on, whether it's in you or something that you can do that can have you connect to a place of neutral or calm? And that might be by like running up a mountain. It might be by dancing in your room. It might be sitting and breathing. It might be calling a friend. Have those sort of, you might want to call it a lifeline, or those practices that you could rely on, even if it's 30 seconds in the day, like if that's all you have time for, but you do, this is my uninterrupted time. 30 seconds seems short, and it is. If it could be longer, that would be ideal. You know, right now I am needing to like carve out some time for myself more than I have been. I've always needed to like move this around, move that around, so I can have that time for myself. If I have that time, then I can show up and be there for whatever else is that I need to be at, you know, show up for and be myself and feel well. And so it's finding that point, you know, like what is it for you that can bring you to neutral?
And I like that you say sort of the 30 seconds,
because
because
right?
I think, and we have a question, we'll get to you in one quick second. I like the 30-second sort of thing, because a lot of times we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And I say this as well when it comes to, I work a lot with postpartum women, and there's always this sort of pressure of getting their body back and, you know, getting back on track, and they don't have time to do, you know, an hour workout, and they sort of stress about that. And I always like to say it can be 30 seconds while you're cooking, that you're just doing sort of like a little neck exercise. It can be while you're reading the story to your child before bedtime. You can be rolling your ankles around,
Yeah.
and just, it can literally be just little spurts of 30 seconds throughout your day, but those 30 seconds amount to positive changes in your day.
Yeah, I mean, you're
So,
focusing your attention somewhere else, right? And it's
yeah,
like when you shift your focus, and that's what coaching's about. It's like shifting the focus. We're not going to focus on that part that you might be dealing with
yeah.
in therapy, but not you, but clients, but we're going to shift it somewhere else, somewhere where we print.
So we do have a question from Mama Self Care, who's Katerina. So she asks how to know whether it's your intuition or just wishful thinking. I like that.
Yeah. So I would put wishful thinking, like also you could set that or place that. For some people it's fear or anger, anxiety. It's like, I think we touched on this earlier too, to clear that emotional attachment. If you're emotionally attached to the outcome, it's harder to have that place of neutral, because it's like, you know, you want it so much that you can't, right or not, right? What's truth for you, what's coming from within. So it's, one is being able to discern that. And so being able to discern that also is about like, well, how does intuition show up for you, Katharina? Do you know how intuition shows up?
No, we just lost the connection there. We lost you, Julie. I don't know if you guys have lost Julie as well. Oh, I think you're back. Okay. Yeah, we lost for a second, I think. Sorry about this, guys. I don't know if you're hearing me, but we're having a few little technical difficulties. We're on spinning mode for Julie, so we'll just wait a few seconds and see if it comes back. Oh, okay. So we've lost Julie, but she's definitely going to come back. I see that somebody is okay. Hold on. And yes, Katie, meditation is definitely a good option. It slows us down. It helps us return to our breath. And hello, Julie. We lost you there.
I know. Sorry about that.
Technology, it happens.
I think I was Rena. Yeah. Was I interrupting you?
No. It cut off. I was
Okay.
just kind of, because Katie sort of mentioned meditation as well. And I was just saying that, yes, meditation is definitely an amazing tool to use to slow things down and reconnect with our breath and our soul.
Yeah. I don't know if is Katarina still here because I feel like I was in the middle of responding to that.
Maybe Katarina, if you want to just send a little wave if you're still there listening. Sorry about that disconnect
Oh yeah.
there.
Okay.
But I'm sure the
But
listeners will
no,
appreciate your
I
answer
mean I
either
could
way.
just speak. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wishful thinking. Yeah. It's again this place of neutral. Like how can I come to neutral and to know for yourself, like what does intuition show up for you? And one of the teachers that I really like, Dr. Judith Orloff, she's teaches a lot about intuition, and she says your intuition will take you to an opportunity. And so we're
Just to
always
pause,
what's
she's
beautiful about
here
trust.
now, so she's listening.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. But just to share that, and like we all have intuition, we all have access to it. The gift of our intuition is what it shares with us and what we do with that information. And it's a process, and it takes work, and it takes discernment, and it takes understanding what your feelings are and accessing your feelings. It takes being grounded in our bodies. It takes being rooted to the earth. It's a whole way of being when you live intuitively, when you trust your intuition, allow it to navigate you. And so when we one day just go into that, like, well, what am I thinking? What am I afraid of? What, and to work through that, to have a process, and I take clients through that. They'll present what's happening, and then we'll find intuition and finally like know that, okay, what's really happening, or what my answer is this. Parsing's out. Did that help, Kat?
Is there, yeah, we'll let her answer there. Is there like a little, because I know, some people are asking questions.
And also, like, as I don't know if new people are joining, but I mean, I can see the number, but you can still offer the reading if anybody's feeling called to have a reading, or
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. If
you
nobody
heard or
feels sort of
didn't.
comfortable doing the reading, the connection is really bad. So maybe if we can, I don't know if you have like an exercise or sort of a reading kind of to everybody, or an exercise that we can all sort of do together. We need the neutrality. She says, thank you. And she agrees with you. So yeah, is there like a little exercise that we can actually just do live here for kind of the group together? Maybe just,
Yeah.
breathing, or something that you tend to maybe start off your intuitive reading sessions with. I don't know if this is not something that you do, or if I'm just kind of inventing stuff here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do a lot of would be needed here right now. And I think encouragement for people to their body. I mean, it's something, I don't know, is it cutting out? maybe lift your
Yeah,
hand if you don't think.
you're sort of delayed, like you're sort of, you're talking, you're talking, and
It's not
I'm
good,
hearing a
eh?
voice, but your lips are not moving. So we're kind of catching everything in a delay, and that's
Oh,
fine, right? We're just it is what it is. And I remember when I did the podcast with you, and I was very anxious about it, and you were just like, again, just reminding me to just go with my intuition, and we'll just let it flow how it flows.
right.
And right now we're having a few technical difficulties, and sort of it is what it is. But I think that the people kind of got the
Yeah.
bulk of what we're
Yeah.
what you're offering. And I think the beauty of needing to tap into our intuition, and coming back to our breath, and coming back to our bodies, and the sensations that we feel within our body to help guide
Yeah.
our intuition, I guess.
Well, to help listen to it.
Yeah, help listen to it. Yeah, exactly. We got it. And Katie says she can feel it, so that's wonderful.
And, Katie said, and that's the idea too. It's like, it's like the quality that you can feel, right? Like when it's a transmission, right? That happens, energy frequency to another. And when we cultivate that and develop that sense of like intimacy with ourselves, developing self-compassion, developing self-awareness, then it gets reflected in all of the relationships that we then have, So we're doing ourselves a service to pay attention more to pay attention to what's happening inside of us. It's only going to benefit greater, the collective. And so you asked for a practice as I'm talking. I don't know that I'm drawn to do one right in this moment. I could. I was thought it would be great to dance, but I just want to invite people to just check in with themselves. And what are they being called to their awareness, like Katie said, their greater body awareness. What is it that, and let your intuition that answer. Maybe somebody invites you to an online dance class, or maybe you see a meditation course, you really love your meditation chair, or you want to go for a walk. Just allow them into you, allow yourself to listen to the answer, ask the question.
I like that.
I have no idea if you got any of that.
We did. It was timed. And yeah, that was so lovely. Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
I just love this kind of stuff, because it's just so spontaneous, and whatever happens, happens. Yeah, thank you. So would you
Totally.
So I know that you have this great podcast.
Okay.
My pleasure. Yes, I know we're super delayed right now, but I do want you to talk about your wonderful podcast, which I still listen to, your Motherhood, Let's Create a Village. And now you've got a new podcast, and you always have really great guests. And this is what I love about Julie's podcast. She has just amazing guests. So if you're a parent, she has some really fantastic guests.
And, the effort, the quote work.
Well, we're all doing our best, right?
Julian.com. This is how we're responding to the unit. What am I supposed to be doing? And delayed, am I supposed to be
everything
shocked,
is
or
delayed.
Am I supposed to resilience, Julian conversation. Okay. Yeah. That's our message.
Hi there. Hi.
Everybody go slow.
I feel like I'm in an SNL
there's no need to
right
rush
now.
What are we rushing towards? We need to be ourselves. See, intuition is fun.
It totally is. I hope that you guys are laughing out there because laughing is truly the best medicine. So,
It is. That will bring you to neutral also. I love hearing your laugh. I like, let's all have a laugh party. Man, do I need to
Oh,
laugh.
good.
Thank you. We
Oh,
all
good. I
give each
know
other,
we
we're
all
all
totally need
tuned
to
in.
laugh. So maybe there's the intuition, right? It's just that intuition to just want to laugh. So if you guys are listening out there, just like go for it. Just let it out. Get it from your gut. You know, it feels so good when that laugh is really deep. So oh, good. Katie's laughing. Thank you. I love it. So I think what I'll do instead, because we're being cut off so much and I'm saying stuff and you're saying stuff and it's just, it's just not jiving, is
Oh
I'm going to
yeah.
put a link to your podcast and your website and,
It's very helpful.
where people can find you to do the readings and to do
Katie's
the life coaching and
laughing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because,
All
yeah,
right.
Julie's voice comes in at random times.
Okay. Bye, Katie.
It could be my iPhone 4.
You
I
could
blame it
find it
on my
at the
iPhone
same website.
4.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
JulianConversation.com. Perfect. That's okay. JulianConversation.com. The podcast is there. I tell you, she's, like I
You
said,
don't need
she's
to
got
hear me
amazing
anyway. Just
guests.
feel
She
me.
has, it is like a voice in the sky that's just kind of like dropping in on us and giving us all of this beautiful guidance.
No,
And that's right.
it's
Intuition
just
is a
where we
lot of
are,
fun.
you know? It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
All right, Julie, we're going to say goodbye and thank you so much. It was lovely to speak with you. I apologize for the sort of
Right.
delays and stuff like that, but I do hope that you're feeling better and that you're able to reconnect with your intuition based on some of what Julie said in our conversation. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I'm glad that you guys joined, everybody who
Can I say
joined,
so?
and
Thank you. Yeah,
we'll do
thank
our
you for being here. Katie, thanks for your comments.
Bye, Julie. Yes, bye,
Perfect.
Katerina, Nancy, and all the others that joined throughout. And we will see you maybe next time. And who knows what will happen next time. Bye, everybody.